getting energy doesn't mean you have to sacrifice your health. That's why when I need energy, I get Clean Calls, yerba mate. It's organic, healthy for you, jitter-free. Also, every can change a life because 50% of their net profits go to drug addiction recovery. So get you a Clean Cause for a drink that supports a good cause. Endorsed by Relentless Hope. Now I'm going to get all hopped up. Hey, what's up out there? It's David Cravens with the Relentless Hope podcast. Back again down here in the 239 Uncensored studio. We got our homegirl D-Money, Diana on the controls over there. Sunny Southwest Florida. Got my...
Oh, here we go.
Beautiful.
I love that.
Savage wife.
Where's Tim? Why can't Tim be here?
Well, Tim didn't make it in today.
Dang it, Tim.
Tim's out making moves, making major moves.
Making moves.
You know what I'm saying? How you doing over there, beautiful?
I'm fabulous. Feeling
Good to be
today.
here, right? Yeah. This is our therapy.
This is my therapy.
Therapy, man. What a crazy day.
Right?
Even. Oh, you know.
And
so
we got some cool people today.
yes, we are
Let's go.
excited about this because we've got some guests. And it's funny how you go in places, and this happens a lot in our life. Maybe it don't happen before, but I was just so caught up in myself. I never paid attention to other people because I was always worried about, oh, I got a flat tire, somebody stole my bike. I got to pay child support, you know, whatever the case may be.
I forgot to put gas in
I forgot to put gas. I ran out. But so we came down to the studio one day and we were a little bit early. So we were like, we got to find somewhere healthy to eat because
We're hungry.
We try to eat healthy and we're hungry. So we pulled in the shops down here where the studio is and we're driving around and we went and John was like, I just seen a place for the bowls, Nautical bowls.
Nautical bowls.
So we were like, that's it. We went in and as soon as we walked in, the vibe was awesome. You can just tell, you know when you go in somewhere and there's something bad.
Oh,
And you know when you go in there when there's something good, right? You know what I
Sure.
mean? Like I've been in places before, like, oh, we better get out of here, you know? And they were working, the kids were working,
Yes.
the attitude, hey guys, started explaining everything. And then we got the bowl and it was fire. It was the bomb. And the
Yes.
conversation started. And then you start like-minded and this and that. And it just started rolling. And we were like, oh, this is our spot. And then Jonna changed numbers. And then, so we've got some guests here today that we're excited about. They've also been sponsoring the podcast. So you've seen them in the links and you've been hearing us talk about it and posting. They run Nautical Bowls, but we've got,
Look at these.
yeah, look at this right here.
Fuckers.
I mean, it's real. We've got Dan and Amanda.
Dan and
No.
Amanda.
What is
Let's
up,
go.
guys?
We're so glad to be here. Thank
Yes.
you so much.
We're
It's
so
been-
happy to have you guys.
Thank you for coming.
It's been fun
Thanks for
getting to know
having
you
us.
guys.
Yeah.
It's
It's
so cool how
it-
things come together.
well,
right?
it's like-minded people when they meet and talk. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Like when I used to live a former life, I always found like-minded people. You know what I mean?
Right,
You go in,
yep.
and then when you're positive and you want to change, you start finding like-minded people. So it's really
Amen.
So true.
whatever way your dominant thought directs you, you know. And the day that we came in and first met you, Amanda, we just started talking, and then we sat down. It was kind of early; nobody was in there, and you were
Yep.
showing the kids. And I think your daughter was on roller
Yep.
skates. Wasn't she on some roller skates?
Scooting
That's some
around.
Yeah,
skill.
scooting
That's what
around.
she does.
And yeah, that's a skill that I do have actually.
Ooh.
I have. Can I roller skate? Tell the truth.
He can roller
Can
skate.
you roller skate?
That's so good.
Uh,
You want to bring? Why you gotta bring him
No,
back?
I'm just playing. But I'm actually a
About to
very
choke
good
him
roller
out.
skater. You know, we used to get a ride from the trailer park to the skating rink, and I've won a few things. I won a clock there once skating. But
Oh,
anyway,
that's funny.
you know. But your daughter was roller skating and going around, and we had a really good
Like
conversation.
a boss.
Yeah.
And first time that I met Dan, you know,
Mhm.
Yep.
heard about him,
Yep.
but first
Heard a lot
time
about
got to
him.
meet you. So got a really nice shirt, got nice eyes.
thank
Good
you.
looking
Thank
guy
you.
over
He
there,
does
man.
have some great
Looking
eyes,
good, man.
right?
Got a cool and
Hey, I had to work hard to be picked up.
hey,
by
I
this
get
one.
it,
Come
man.
on.
I get it. And you won me over with the ring, bud. Show him that ring,
Show
man.
that bling
No,
bling.
Look at that ring.
It's actually my wedding ring.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
Dude,
and,
that thing is dope.
provided by my in-laws. They actually donated all the gold for it.
Wow.
They paid
Family.
to have it melted down.
That is so dope.
and it's my
Some
own
good
design.
in-laws.
But
That
yeah.
no, that's cool. And if somebody
I
gets
know, right?
loud, you'd be like, "Damn, what's
Right,
your
Mom
baby
and Dad.
back there?"
Right?
You walk away. No, that's awesome. That is cool though. So Tell us a little bit about you guys. How are you in Naples? How you got Nautical Bowls? What do you do? Where you're from? All that good stuff.
Well,
start.
we've known each other since we were 15 years old.
Wow.
We're from the Minneapolis area, suburb.
Suburbs.
And so we've been hanging out, partying, and doing all that our
Right.
whole lives. So, and we've just stayed in touch. We never dated or anything. We're just friends.
Just
We've
friends.
always been kind of business-minded people.
Mhm.
Amanda's always bringing business ideas to me, and we're
Smart
doing lunch,
girl.
and so we've just had a good relationship like that.
Yeah.
And
5 years ago,
5
we
years.
started dating and got married pretty quickly after that on 2/22/22, just because why
Oh,
not?
come on.
So he don't forget
Come
it.
on.
That's right.
You can,
exactly.
you
You
can
are
put that
not
on that
gonna
ring, Bob. I just
Tattoo it,
tattooed it
right?
on me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think my anniversary's coming up. Wait, that's Tim Jarrett's anniversary.
Yeah.
Hold on, look. No,
You
I'm
gotta
just
keep 'em
playing.
straight over there.
But no, but that's awesome. So, how long have you been in the Naples area?
So we came down in 22,
Yep.
right
Okay.
before the hurricane.
Oh, right before
Oh,
Ian.
yes.
Yeah, we pulled our camper down here and we started doing that summer camp
I
thing.
remember
Doing
you
the
telling the
bug out,
story. It was
yeah.
a little
Yeah,
crazy, right?
and what a great experience that was.
Right.
We got lucky. God just kept opening doors for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
The trailer, the campground we were in was completely destroyed,
Mm.
but we were lucky enough to be able to pull the camper out into who built out our store,
Right.
like parking lot basically, or like
Wow.
inland. So it was kind of saved, but we didn't have anywhere to go back to
Right,
when we came, when everything was all said and done.
right.
And but somebody needed a camper, and so we were able to get them a camper down on Bonita Beach, and then we were
Wow.
able to get into a house that somebody was renting, and so it all
It
just
all worked out.
came together.
God
That's
just opened
crazy.
some doors.
Yeah.
Didn't
Yeah.
he?
Always.
You know what I
always
did
does.
learn through Hurricane Ian, we, as a lot of people know, we lost everything, right?
Yep.
House, pool tables floating in the Caloosahatchee, Jordans floating down the river. I mean, it was crazy. But what I seen was so many people, because it don't matter if
Come
you're
together.
white, black, green, yellow, Puerto Rican, Colombian, whatever you were, everybody was
Came together,
affected,
yeah.
right? Didn't matter how much money you had nowhere to live.
Yep.
And we seen so many people just come out of the woodwork for us, didn't we, babe? Like,
Man. It was just good to know, because
know?
there were so many people that wanted to help each other,
Yeah.
because in times of conflict like that, when things happen and trauma, there's two different kinds of people, the kind of people that are just selfish and they don't really care, or the kind of people that just really have a heart for people and they're like, man, what can we do? And it didn't matter whether you had anything or not, right?
Mhm.
You were like, what can I do to help you?
Yep.
So
yeah.
it was pretty cool to see that.
Yeah, Hurricane Ian was crazy. So you guys come because I remember when we were talking the day
Yep.
when we came in. So you guys kind of not on a whim, but you were like, we're gonna pack up and hit every bowl place there is.
Yeah, we did. So
Right?
that January before the hurricane, we literally packed up the truck, came down for 2 weeks, and went up and down the coast, tried every bowl, and we're like, there's nothing like
No
it here.
comparison.
Wow.
And we were in Minnesota before, and COVID hit our business really hard. We were shut down for a really long time, and it really hurt us.
Right.
So we were like, what do we want to do? I'm not going to open another business there.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so Florida was the place we wanted to be. We
Right.
both actually had goals of being down there for more than a decade down here.
Wow.
Wow.
Separately. And so we're like, let's do it. Let's
That's
move our
crazy.
big Brady Bunch family.
Hey,
and
we're,
Brady
hey,
Bunch with a boombox.
hey, we're like the Brady Bunch with a boombox, bud.
That's what I told him.
We're like the Brady Bunch with a boombox,
Yes.
bud. We got ones that sell real estate, ones that out on bond. No, I'm just, but we know all
Still
about
better
the
now.
blended family thing. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
And nowadays, I was talking to somebody the other day. Used to you'd go to church if you went to a church, and we would be like, we wouldn't. How do I want to say it? Like, we didn't want to talk to anybody. We don't want to. We're like, tell the kids, listen, you don't need to get in there when you're in Sunday school.
Don't
you
tell
just
everybody.
say, you don't need to tell them. Well, my mom, and my dad's got 4 kids by 8 different women.
Wait,
Like,
what
yeah,
about Elijah?
yeah,
Sunday
wow.
school.
And so Elijah, right? John is
Our
raised
little one.
Elijah, but so he goes in. So he's in Sunday school, and he goes in Sunday school, and when John picks him up from Sunday school,
Everybody's staring at
It was the
me.
first Sunday we ever went to this church, and when we're leaving, they're like, "Hey, have a good day. We'll be praying for you." And John is looking at him, so she comes out, and
Good.
John is like,
Appreciate
"David,
that.
these people were looking at me crazy. And then so we're driving, and Elijah goes, "Yeah, when we were in there, because John is not his biological mother. He goes, I told him my mom was on drugs, and
Real
she
bad
was just real
alcoholic?
bad
I'm like,
alcoholic and drinking and losing jobs, and we said a prayer for her. So when Jonna went there, they thought Jonna.
thought it was
So they're like,
Whoa.
they're
Legit.
looking at her like, oh, we're praying, but. To
Oh,
get
that's-
back to the
that's
point I was
hilarious.
making,
Elijah.
and at one time we
love
were
it.
on all that, but not at that time.
Thank God not.
But so we would come into church, and we were like the blended family.
Mhm.
Like, and when I say that, it's like everybody's like, I mean, they had to like us because we didn't give them no choice. They had to talk to us and accept us. But we come in, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, the Cravens are coming, and now who is this one and this?" And I was actually talking to Tim the other day on my birthday at lunch, and Tim and Alex, and he's like, "Okay, now how old?" And I'm telling him how long we've been together, and I can watch Tim's
Do the
eyes
math.
computing.
Like,
Tim's eyes are computing, and Alex, and they're both looking, and they're like, I go, "Oh, well, no, but he just kind of showed up." And Tim was like, "Yeah, I was going to say the math didn't add up there,
It's not mathing.
But
he just popped up.
but nowadays, a blended family is not so. Now you go to
It's more
church,
common.
It's
Right.
not so rare.
and it's 50
Yeah.
50 almost.
Yeah.
It's 50-50. Like people divorce, 51% of people of faith get divorced and remarried now, and like we always tell people, marriage works 100% of the time if you do it God's way, right? But if this is your first marriage, second marriage, third marriage, just let it be your last marriage,
Right.
And,
Yep.
and make
Amen.
and make the best of it, right?
Yep.
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 And because you're looking at two people that if you would have told us, and I say this countless times, that we would be the marriage people, I would have told you were crazy. Because I've been married a couple times. She's been married probably more than a couple times. She's been married a couple times,
I've
and
been
then
married once.
and then when we got together,
No comment.
it was crazy, So bring us up to speed. You said you guys met at 15,
Mhm.
right? Which that always intrigues me. Somebody meets at 15 and
Yeah.
then they're together later. You know what I mean? Because we
Yeah.
had the Gutteries on here who've known each other.
Yes.
They still got their 8th grade picture dance, which
Oh,
was
wow.
crazy.
Nuts.
They're like, which of course they're not perfect people, but they're like the perfect couple.
They're pretty
like
perfect.
their kids, yeah, they're pretty perfect.
They're pretty perfect.
Like
Wow.
just good people.
Yeah.
And then we had Mark and Bon on here who
Yeah.
they've known each other since they were like your age, and then later in life they got together. So bring us up to speed a little bit about you, Dan, a little bit about your childhood, like what your parents did, how you kind of growing and what you did, and then
Yeah, so I guess we grew up in the same area, but I have 4 older sisters,
Mhm.
which is kind of weird.
Compared to
yeah,
your
a
life.
lot of
With
blow dryers and
4
aqua
daughters
net back
and
in
a
your day.
wife.
Oh,
so kind of
four
funny.
daughters now
So
too.
he's used to the girls.
He is
Oh
used to the
yeah,
girls.
some parts of the
Ladies,
month you don't
man.
even talk at home.
Right,
You just
right.
walk around and say, "Smile, hey, how you doing?" Yep, no problem.
For
Right.
real.
So my parents got divorced when I was about 6 or 7 years old, and so saw my dad on the weekends,
Right.
and so that's the kind of childhood I grew up.
Your
My mom
typical
had
going over there.
like 3 full-time jobs, and
Yeah.
I look at
Latchkey.
it as
Latchkey
a great
kid, I used to say.
childhood because I got to do whatever I wanted to do.
Oh, I bet.
My mom's at work.
He
Somebody
ran
else.
it.
She's telling the older girls to make sure that
Watch
they
out for
watch
him.
me,
Yeah.
And they're like,
yeah,
whatever.
and they're
right?
like,
Yeah.
okay, mom.
Talking on the
Uh,
phone.
Yeah, and so I'm just out running the streets with my other buddies
Mhm.
who were
Mhm.
kind of all in the same situation, and it was a great childhood,
Right.
But then got married pretty young. Got into some trouble, partying with my friends and stuff, and I thought, getting married, that'll straighten me out, and,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know,
We all thought that.
We all
And
thought
have
that.
kids will definitely
Not
make
so
it
much.
right?
Yeah, that adds some
Cool.
stress.
I was
I know
I
that
was
story.
raised Mormon,
Oh, okay.
Wow.
so
You ain't got like 9 wives over there. You
I
don't.
mean, no.
No, I'm just messing with you.
No. But so I was raised Mormon, so I didn't really jive with the
Mhm.
Mormon religion.
Mhm.
It really
I know
turns
it
you
works
off.
out for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each their own, right?
Yep.
But
Yep,
that's not your
yep.
thing, right?
So one of my best friends is Mormon.
Mhm.
So he loves it, and we get together and
Right.
we debate each other all
Yeah.
the time
Oh,
about this
yeah.
and that.
Right,
And,
right.
my mom she's still Mormon.
Mhm.
She's
Awesome.
actually did a mission to Salt Lake City, and
Right.
I helped move her out there.
Right.
So she's 80 years old now, and she does family history. She's like the
Wow.
director of the family history
Right.
You want to know
center. So it
anything
gives her,
ancestry, man?
She
gives her a
knows
lot
it.
of stuff
She
to
is
do.
on
you
it.
Right,
know,
right,
in
yeah.
retirement,
She's got
and
some
she is
knowledge.
just
It's pretty
going,
cool.
Doing it. Right.
And so, anyways, yeah. So I got married young,
Mhm.
had a couple kids,
Right.
got responsible real young, had a house at a young age,
Right.
was a manager at a IT.
So did what you were
place.
supposed to do. You had
Yeah,
a kid,
did all that
you worked,
stuff.
but you know,
Tried to make it work.
Yeah.
You know, didn't really
I get
work out. And the whole time, you know, Amanda, she knew my ex-wife. They were
Right.
friends. My ex-wife would actually call Amanda and complain about me all the time.
Oh.
I'd say, I
wow.
mean, you're married to Dan Martin.
it. Oh,
What do you
Danny,
expect?
Danny the
I
man.
did have to eat my words there, like, but
Ooh.
he's not the same man he was.
None of us
then.
are.
No,
And
no.
we all
Right.
learned.
We all
We all
change.
grow
I
up.
wasn't the same, and you know, she's
Absolutely.
not the same.
People change, time
Exactly.
Yep.
changes. You know.
Yep.
Well, we
And
grow up.
Yeah.
you
Thank
know?
God we
Dan didn't know
changed.
who he was.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And,
You just
you know,
doing what you thought you were supposed to do.
I was looking for myself, and you know, finally found myself down here,
Yeah.
which was great.
That's
But yeah, had a couple kids, and those kids are now living in Florida.
Wow.
How old are the kids? How old are
So 16 and 19.
16 and
Okay.
19?
Yep.
So the independent age, you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Kind of, yeah.
So they know everything phase.
Oh, I know. Trust
and
me,
shouldn't
listen.
have to
Oh.
do anything.
Oh,
phase.
yeah,
we know that
no.
story.
We shouldn't have to wash our dishes.
We know that
or
story.
clean
No.
our rooms.
Put it in the
or,
dishwasher.
Can you give me some
Mm.
gas money?
They're actually
Oh,
getting a
yeah.
lot better.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
coming down because they, you know, they want to learn some responsibility.
Yeah.
Awesome.
They can see us from afar and, you know, not jumping
Kind of
on
in
their
a
necks all the
toxic-
time.
Right.
And so
Yes.
they want that peace in their life.
Yeah.
And so I give them kudos for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Me
hey.
too. Yeah.
Shout out
If
to
they're
the
trying to
kids.
learn, man, you know, I put we on our social media, I put a post, you know, you can, I can't exactly word how it was, but you know, you can put the most motivational post up, you can say the right lines and scriptures, and you can do a microphone, but it was a picture of me or Jonna, I, and the kids in the front of the studio. I said, but this crew knows the real me.
Yeah.
Right. They know the 15-hour days when I say things I
Mm.
shouldn't say,
Yeah.
when I don't handle a situation I shouldn't handle,
Right.
when you're complaining about stuff that a 14, 15-year-old kid don't even need to be worried about what his
Exactly.
braces cost.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of people
Yeah.
ain't going to
Right.
tell you they do that. They're going to
Oh.
tell you, but I'm saying, you know, so them wanting to learn that, they want to come down because whether they say they're not learning from you or they
Yeah.
didn't, they're learning from you
They're
and
learning.
they're paying
They're always
attention.
watching.
And something I've learned
Yeah.
in our marriage, you know, like I said, flawed human beings made mistakes you can't change, got kids from 33 to 12 and everywhere in between. But what I have learned when we made the choice to put God first in our marriage and put our marriage first, our older kids and our younger kids, if you want to teach your kids something, show them a healthy marriage, godly marriage, and
Yes.
it'll get them ready for life. And see, what happens is a lot of people say, "Oh, well, but we've only been married 2 years," but it doesn't matter because they're watching still.
Right.
They're even
Always.
watching harder when you get
Always.
remarried
Oh, yeah.
because they're
man.
like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna work, mom and him," and they are fighting.
Oh,
And now our older kids, like my daughter Ashley, our son Ethan, Brianna, they're all like, you know, because they've seen the
How
worst of the
can-
worst.
yeah.
Felony stops, windshields getting kicked in. I mean, it was a Jerry Springer show on wheels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And going that, and now they see how our marriage is priority, and nothing comes before it.
Right.
And
Yes.
God comes before it, then our marriage,
Yep.
then our kids, then our business. Then it goes
And you
down.
got to start at
Amen.
home.
And
Yeah,
You
and,
got
well,
it.
and so
Absolutely.
your kids coming down wanting to be part of that. Now they're probably at the age that where they're really gonna suck it in, and there'll be those teaching moments. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Yep.
and so that's awesome. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Now, what about you? Let's hear you.
Well,
How big was your guy? Were you in Minnesota suburb? So I mean, I've been in Minneapolis a lot.
Minnesota.
You know what
We
I
were
mean?
right outside.
Yeah.
Minneapolis.
I've got
love
the
that.
worst
It's
accent.
Yeah.
It's the worst. Everybody comes in and out.
Matter of fact, there's a park there that they do in a festival for. St. Paul, Minneapolis, right over
Boom Island.
Yeah, I've done the Rib Fest there.
Oh,
I
yeah,
worked
Rib
the
Fest,
Rib-
yeah.
Matter of fact, fun fact,
Oh Lord Jesus.
the first place I ever drank a Jaeger bomb was in St. Paul at a hockey bar.
Makes sense.
There's a hockey bar downtown
Oh,
St.
yeah.
Paul,
Yep.
Minneapolis.
Oh, yeah.
Can't think of the
Outside
hockey
Excel
player.
Center, probably.
I can't think of the what is it?
Yep.
The
It's
Excel
outside of the
Center.
Excel
Yeah,
Center,
I can't think of the hockey bar, but he was a hockey player and he owned a bar, and I was working there, and that was the first place I ever drank a Jaeger bomb, and I probably got a little crazy in St. Paul
Probably more than
because
one.
I think it's early career. So you're there. You guys grew up together.
Yep, we grew up together. My parents were married, but they had a very difficult relationship. So I was around a lot of volatileness, which, you know what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Right.
My dad passed away when I was 20,
Okay.
Wow.
which was really pivotal and hard. You know, it's that loss that you can't understand till it happens.
Right.
Facts.
And also like how short life is and what are you going to do with it? And so I
So
feel like,
true.
you know, my 20s were a lot of figuring things out, making a lot of mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
I have a 23-year-old daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So she got to come along for that ride.
Oh, we know that
Yeah,
story.
You know, so she's amazing and I'm so grateful for her. But with now I have 11-year-old and it's been a way different journey, right?
Right.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
the older you, I'm like always
Oh
wait
yeah.
to have
Oh, I
kids,
know.
please. Like till you're at least 30.
that's
you
what
don't
that's
even
what
have
we
a
tell
Yeah.
ours.
clue.
Don't
I
rush
think I had
it.
a kid when I was 12. No, it wasn't far after it, daggone it. But yeah, I was a kid.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Yeah,
You know,
me
the
too.
dad I am at 51,
Yep.
even versus 31 or
Right.
41, definitely 21.
Right.
And it's
much
you're
different.
you're a different person. I mean, even. And I don't advocate divorce or anybody
Right.
getting divorced, but when you remarry, you said this, he's not the same man.
No.
Dude,
Right.
there's people that watch our podcast and that are like, he one time he kicked my door down and beat my brother, and I did all of it, a lot of it that they say, but
you're not.
you know, going
Yeah.
through life and things that happen, there's no way you can. I'm not the same father. I'm not the same husband.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not the same business owner.
Yeah,
I'm not the
right.
same
Not the same person.
rapper. Even when I do music, it's different. You know, so growing and learning.
Yeah.
Of course, you're a different parent now than you are.
And God doing that work in you,
That's
right?
the
Like
key.
that's the key. That's
Yeah.
what really changed it because we can like, oh, I want to be this way. I want to do this. I want to do this. But like turn it over to God.
Yep.
Like
Mhm.
God, look, you
Yeah.
know I'm a hot mess.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Still.
you
daily.
gotta fix
it's
me.
that
Sometimes,
surrender. You
Yeah.
know.
I mean,
So you had your
Really?
daughter. She's
so my
23,
daughter
right?
got married and divorced a couple times
Right.
here.
Hey, we get
Yeah.
it.
And I, you know, started out at a company and worked my way from the mailroom all the way to the chief of staff of a huge $14 billion,
Hustler.
trillion-dollar company.
She's a
actually. It
hustler,
was
ain't she?
huge.
Wow. She's a
Then I
boss.
started my own business, a cleaning service, all natural. Grew that to over $1 million in sales, and then we sold that. And you know, kind of always been that entrepreneur, just
Yes.
trying.
You just have it in your blood.
My kids were obsessed with nautical bowls, like
Right.
no kidding. And I used to drive 45 minutes to get my oldest these nautical bowls.
Right.
What
Wow.
in the world, y'all, for
Right.
these bowls? But you taste it, and you're like,
Mm.
I'll drive 45
For real.
minutes for this
They
bowl.
are so good.
And so when we were looking at what we wanted to
is good.
do, having something healthy and fast for people,
Mm.
that was key. But in Minnesota, it's cold, real
Right.
cold.
Oh, you can
and
have
it's
that.
a cold
It's cold.
product, and you can only have so many.
Mhm.
And we're
Right.
like, we both want to be hot
Yeah.
in all levels.
Right.
got your
right,
wish
right. Yeah.
list.
Yeah.
Let's go south. And you know, I've done a lot of different things. I donated my kidney to a complete
Yeah, we're gonna get you.
stranger.
How awesome.
yeah, I want to talk
Man,
about that.
I know it's weird.
I was
wanna
just
talk about
talking to
that.
Tim Jarrett,
Uh-huh.
and I was telling him, I was like, they got a really cool story they're going to tell. She donated a kidney. He's like, I love you, buddy, but you're on your own. And he loves me. So, you
He
know
don't
what I
love
mean?
you enough.
Well, he don't love me enough to give me his kidney.
Funny.
Yeah,
And that's a great story.
No,
I mean,
yeah.
when I hear it,
Yeah.
I still get teared
Yeah,
up.
Let's go there.
And-
Let's
yeah,
go
that's,
there.
we're going to get there. So you had your daughter.
Yep.
And you only have one daughter, right?
I actually have two,
Okay.
but at that point,
At
I
that
did.
point, you had
Yep.
123,
and
right?
so my youngest is 11.
Okay.
And she's a girl as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Dan,
More
man.
girls,
I
Dan.
know, 4 sisters, 4 daughters.
You're a
God bless you,
gangster.
Dan.
So
God
God
bless
was
you.
getting you ready.
For
Right.
real.
He got you with the 4 sisters to
Yeah.
get you ready, bro. Like, you got to, okay.
Nothing
okay.
faces him. He's like,
Yeah,
oh,
look
it's
how
that.
calm he is.
Man,
Oh,
you know, I find myself in the garage sometimes.
Yeah,
you know,
got to do what you got to do, man.
Listen,
But you don't live
I
out there
get it.
like some
No, I
people.
don't live out there.
So 4 kids
Yep.
between you.
Well,
the
4
Brady
kids.
bunch?
Yep, 4 kids. I have a stepson from a previous relationship.
Okay,
He
that's-
lives in another state, but we see him, and
But-
I
but-
consider him
but
a
you-
son.
Well,
and
that
I
just
love
shows
that.
you. That just
Love
shows
that's right.
the type of person
Yeah.
you are.
Oh,
Because, like, John has raised the 3 kids in her home, and none of them her
right, love him.
But they're my kids.
biological kid.
Amen.
But let me tell you, you wouldn't know the difference. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that, the
Awesome.
fact that you
Yep.
leave, and it shows something about him.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people would be like, well, that's cool and all, but that's not,
That's a
that
little
ain't got
too
nothing
much.
to do with me, right? I mean,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
people act like they're not like that, but people are like that about your biological kids
Right.
if you have them around. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that says a lot about your character.
I'm grateful for
Right.
how
And
he
your
is and
character,
how we
Dan.
are just with all of our kids. I feel like we always have room to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would
Mhm.
do anything for any one of them,
Yeah.
and I know he would do the same.
Yeah.
And that's
No doubt
that's how
in
it
my
is.
mind.
You can see that.
Okay, so
And then we have 2 grandbabies. I can't forget about that.
Oh,
yeah,
My
don't forget
oldest
about
daughter
that.
has 2 boys, so he's getting his boys.
Oh,
thank
you'll
God
get
for
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
yeah.
getting them in there.
My
We'll get 'em
grandson
down here.
My grandson's more like
You
me than
too.
any
You
of
need
my
that.
Yeah.
kids. My grandson and
Oh,
he told
Kellen.
me the other day, and this is my oldest daughter, Ashley. My son, my grandson, Kellen. What's Kellen? 9.
Yes.
He'll be
Kellen's
10
nine.
in January.
Mhm.
He said, "Hey, Peepaw." I said, "Yeah, he's cool.
Peepaw,
He's cool as
cute.
ice."
Peepaw.
Ain't
That's
D Money?
awesome.
How cool is Kellen? D Money knows.
He
Shout
is,
out to
man.
our
He's
girl
the
D Money
cutest
on the
kid, man.
controls. But he's cool as ice. He goes, "Peepaw." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "You know what my mom told me?" I said, "No." She goes, "You and your Peepaw are one and the same person. You both love attention."
Nailed
but
it.
but it's funny. So he's a lot like me. So you're gonna
Aw.
that's
Yeah.
fun in itself. So that's awesome.
Yes.
So you're doing your thing. You're married. Then going through. You're doing your thing, going
Yeah.
through life.
Yep.
There now. Did you guys stay in contact the
Yep.
whole time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Always kind of.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
Always in
Still
contact.
lived in the
We'd
same
run
area?
into
Same area,
each
like 20
other.
minutes apart.
Right.
festivals,
Yeah.
those little city
Mhm.
carnivals. And so I
Hey,
remember
how
saying,
are
"Hey,
you?"
Amanda, how's it going?"
We
Yeah.
all kind of had the
Hang
same
out.
group of
You
friends.
guys never had feelings for
Did
each
you-
other.
Never.
I mean, some people would say that.
Yes,
'Cause you guys had a
apparently
connection.
People
You know.
will say.
I mean, you were
But-
Dan the man. What do you
I'm
want,
talking
Dan?
about
She
y'all's
She was always like, "Oh,
feelings.
Dan, he's disgusting." But
Ugh.
I didn't say disgusting. Look.
Don't worry.
those weren't the words.
Tell the truth.
I
shave
was
it down.
like, oh, Dan Martin, he is everywhere I go.
Right.
Mm.
But what's funny about it is now looking back on all of these things, I can see how God was like, come on,
He was
get
putting
it,
him.
Yeah.
get it. But we
Crazy.
just both would just always end up in the same places.
Mm.
But he always had a girlfriend. I always had a boyfriend.
You
Like,
guys
it
were
was
always
never-
missing each other.
Yeah, I mean, we were just cool friends.
Right.
And so we would do lunches, we would do different things. Well, one night I hit him up. had freshly out of a relationship. I didn't know he was freshly out of a relationship. And I'm like, hey, can you meet for happy hour? I got an hour before this meeting. And he's like, yeah. And like, we're talking and he's like, oh yeah, me and this person broke up. And I was like, oh, by the end of the night, I was like, oh, Dan Martin.
Yeah.
What's up?
Look,
Damn.
Dan. Look,
Said, "What's
Dan.
up?"
So that's kind of how that went down.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And
It was in the cards.
It was, well,
was in
you know,
cards.
really, I mean, in God's principles, a man's number one thing he needs is respect.
Mm.
That, I mean, out of a woman's is security in a
Mhm.
relationship.
Yeah.
Second for a man is sex. You know what I mean? A woman is non-sexual touch, intimacy. And then the third thing a man wants is a woman to be his buddy.
Not
His
his
best
mother.
friend,
Yeah.
not
His
his
best
mother,
friend.
his buddy, his
Yeah.
best friend. So what that was is I realized
Mhm.
something through these, as some people would say, dysfunctional Christian relationships. That we're all
Yeah.
people of faith here. You know what I mean? We're all the same. Are people who got divorced and then they got together. Are John and I's relationship? It took me a while because she was my best friend. So she knew everything about
Okay.
me, which later in our
Which
relationship,
It's not always a good
Which-
thing.
Which
Yeah.
is, yeah, can make things a
which
little
later in the
tough.
relationship,
Yeah.
when things start, she's like, really, I know you, dude. You're
Right,
the-
yeah,
right?
And so, but the thing, what I mean is she was always my friend and I've seen a common denominator when people later in life
Like,
get married or
yeah.
something,
Mhm.
it's
the
that
friends.
there's
True.
that friendship that starts. And what happens a lot of times when you're first dating,
Mhm.
and you guys are still kind of new, but when you're dating and we listen to things like you watch how you drive. You know, you got precious cargo. How many times you hear people say, I got precious cargo?
Right.
You know, later on, you can hit a bump and she hits her head. Oh, come on, you're all right. I'm back this trailer up all the time. Yeah, right. Because it starts to become new. You know what I mean? But when you got that friendship from the beginning, I believe, you know, like if you would ever told me she's going to be my best friend and the way my marriage is, not a perfect marriage. I mean, we have days where it's crazy and do whatever. We work together every day. But I mean, legitimately, my homegirl, my best friend, whether we're laughing or if somebody tries to jump me in the parking lot, I'm not worried about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That kind of deal. I've noticed a common denominator. Same thing with Bonnie and Mark.
Yeah.
That were on here. They were friends first and always.
And he was her safe zone.
Yeah.
You know, because he never had tried anything with her.
Yeah.
And
So
she had gone through things
now,
so she could always go to him.
So now you're kind of like, okay, Dan, you're kind of getting the thing, right? All right. So you guys just start talking from there?
Yeah, we started talking and it went pretty quickly.
And then COVID hit. So
yes,
we were stuck together.
Now you get to know each other.
And Minnesota was like, so he traveled all the time for work.
You can keep that. You can keep that up there.
Frozen tundra, locked down. I mean, you could either drink yourself to death or find somebody you actually like to hang out
with.
Thank
Same thing in Illinois and Minnesota. They're the same.
Right.
I'm from Illinois.
We were in Tennessee.
We were in Tennessee. Then we came down here. So now you guys are you're getting fast tracked. You're friends, but now you don't know it. Now you're starting to know each other, right?
And like businesses, like he couldn't travel and everything was shut down. So we just like hung out and got to hang out all the time.
All the time. And I worked from home.
It was a lot of hanging out. It was fun.
Yeah.
So how were the kids getting along?
Yeah.
Was everybody
how did they take it? How did your older? I mean, not to get into your ex, but is that relationship good or
no? So she was amazing. Like his ex-wife. So they've been they were married, they were together 12 years and they'd been divorced for a long while.
Right.
And we were friends, you know, like we didn't
This is amazing, by the way. I'm sorry. Nautical bowls, you better get there.
Tide.
I got to get it. Yeah.
Good, man. I'm telling you.
I know these are all slamming.
But so she was super cool. Like when we first started talking, you know, we didn't tell anybody until we knew it was going to be something.
Right.
Official.
And then I like messaged her like, hey, just want to give you a heads up.
Just a FYI.
And she was like, oh my God, thank God it's you. I would rather it be you than some other people.
At least she knows you're a good person. You're going to take care of her.
We had her 40th birthday over at my house. We cooked her food. We had all the kids over.
So it's going good.
Beautiful.
So how did the kids adjust at first? Were they kind of like...
My kids really liked Amanda because my ex-wife liked Amanda.
Right.
So
that's my key.
Yeah,
they can direct when the kids are young and impressionable.
Exactly.
And his ex-wife was amazing at that.
Cool.
And, you know, that all went
Shout out ex-wife.
Ex-wife. So that part was good. My youngest, she really struggled because she was only 4 and
they don't know what's going on.
It's you and her.
She, with my ex, you know, she really just didn't see that there was any issues because we didn't fight in front of her.
And she's young. They don't know, they don't recognize that.
Very impressive.
Yeah, it was kind of like, wait, what's going on? So it's taken a long time for her to come around. Now she loves it. She lives here. She goes and sees her dad.
Yeah.
You know, we're back in Minnesota a lot, and you know, all is good. But
and he's cool too.
He
stays at our place.
Oh, yeah. He stays with us. Totally. Yeah.
That's how it should be, man.
Yeah.
You hate to say. I mean, there's a reason why somebody's an ex.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but we don't have to hate each other.
Yeah.
Right?
Could have it worked out maybe if we'd have tried something different, but we didn't. So it's over with.
Yeah.
And I'll say, I don't have no ill will for anybody. I mean, I gave her ex a shout out on the podcast for getting sober and doing good. I gave him my Bible, my personal Bible. So, you know, Robbie's cool with me. I mean, do I want him to come over all the time and be at Thanksgiving? Probably not. But I mean, if he was, I needed to go get him or what. I mean, I got no problem with that. Some of my exes.
Hey, I tried.
Yeah, she tried. It's, you know, my kids are at the age now where they're old enough to know. I don't have to say this or not. I let them. We didn't say nothing bad. We just let them make the decision. You know, so. But that's awesome. But it also shows the maturity and type of people you are. I can already tell that you're just a sweet spirit dude. But when you can make a decision if you need to. When it's time. But at the same time, that's growing up with them 4 women. You know what I mean? You're like, hey, right now,
No
I
joke.
know what I'm going to do to make this happen, but I'm just going to go ahead and let this ride, and they can do whatever, and this is how it's going to go. And people like that are the people who get stuff done, and people like that are who loyal and make things happen,
Loyal,
right?
yeah.
Somebody who's like, I'm going to do this right now, and this, they don't get nothing done but a bunch of yelling. And I've been that guy before, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So now you guys are COVID kicking it, Covey, getting closer, and now the kids, everybody's getting acclimated.
Yep.
And then you're
It was my 40th birthday.
Oh, yeah.
He surprised me with a trip to Marco Island.
Oh, Marco.
And
came down.
we had just a great weekend. And on my 40th birthday, he proposed. And I was really surprised.
Yeah, were you surprised?
I mean,
Was you surprised?
I was surprised.
I feel like you might have been more
Yeah,
surprised
right.
than me. No, I'm just kidding. No, I was really surprised. And he was like, handed me the ring over coffee and was like, I don't know, you want to spend the rest of your life with me? And I was like, wait, what?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I was like,
well, you are damn.
You didn't see that coming?
No.
No?
No. I was like, are you proposing right now? Like, for real? And he's like, I mean, are you going to say yes? I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. I was like, I'll never get married.
Oh,
Oh,
we
never.
all we all
yeah.
make ourselves
Oh,
God.
yeah.
We all make ourselves God. I did that too. Ain't no girl ever gonna tell you what I ain't gonna do. And then you make yourself God in a relationship,
Yep.
and then you can miss out on the best
So
thing in
much.
the world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like even when we got to the part where we had divorce papers drawn up, we're like, you know what? I mean, I remember her saying this one time, and I was like, yep. That's what I do. I F it all up, but she's like, you know what, David, we tried. It just ain't going to work. We ain't it. I'm like, yep, that's what we do. And like, let's just go on. We're two flawed people. Never would I thought, again, you'll hear me say it countless times. Marriage works 100% of the time when you do it God's way. I tried it and never did it God's way. It was always David's way, selfish
That's
way.
right.
I didn't practice the 4 laws of marriage, which that's a whole nother thing. And once we did, I can look at your guys' faces and obviously tell, that there's somebody inside of you that you get your joy from.
Thank you.
And once I learned that she wasn't my source of happiness,
right?
Yes.
okay, because she's going to let me down. I put unrealistic expectations on a human being. Vice versa.
And vice
Yeah.
versa, big
that
time.
there's good days,
Me
there's
too.
bad days, there's happy
Made
days,
him
there's sad
pay,
days,
buddy.
there's broke days, there's money days, there's flat tire days, there's
No
days,
gas days.
podcast days.
Oh,
Like,
boy.
you're-
There's days that your wife shows up with 50,000 piece bed with no instructions and a pile of bolts and says,
Girl,
hey,
what'd you buy from Kia?
We can do this.
Facebook Marketplace,
Oh
y'all.
gosh.
No, we don't even know what kind of bed it is. And he's not kidding, like 1,000 pieces.
Don't feel
just
bad.
a
We
couple
did that
nights
in
ago.
Oh, we did it in
Tennessee.
Tennessee
We did that.
in the winter on the side of a mountain. So
Oh,
you
and he
guys,
was
he
cussing.
proposes and you get married
We do.
and you start your life
We do.
and you're going.
we got married in the yoga studio because it was shut
I
down
own
the
because of
studio.
COVID. So we
I
were
do
like,
a little bit
hey,
about some yoga.
yeah, we were like, let's get it decorated and get married here
Yep.
because
We're on a budget.
we're on a
and
budget
Yeah,
and
we
it
get
was,
it.
it was a really nice studio.
Yeah.
So
It was a beautiful space.
That's
and
awesome.
it was
a blizzard.
a blizzard.
Mhm.
Minnesota.
Blizzard. So, like, nobody could make it, but they still did it.
Right. Sounds
The
like
people
our
who
wedding.
really cared showed up, and it
We don't talk about
was,
ours.
really amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you
All
guys
of our
were
close
there.
friends and family
Yeah.
were there, and
That's awesome.
all the other ones were on video.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So
It was fun, and then we came here, and
And then started your
Ta-da.
thing
Happily
with
ever after.
nautical bowls. Do you see this right here? This is
That's
a
right.
Look at
nautical
these-
bowl.
look at those layers.
What's the name of this
Come on.
right here? This one.
That one's the surf bowl.
The
and
my
it's
surf
personal
bowl.
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
I mean,
is it
these
your
bowls
favorite?
are amazing. And what's this one?
the paddle bowl.
Diane, can you get on that or no? We can't get on that. We can hold it up.
Look at this bad boy.
This one. I mean,
Yeah.
look at the layers in this. I'm telling you, when I went in there the day I got
Yeah.
it, and I don't
You
know
got
if
a
it was this
protein
big. I
bowl.
think I got a protein
Yeah,
bowl
we both
because
got
I eat
protein.
healthy. Back to yoga. DDPY yoga. It's not your mama's
Oh.
yoga. Bang! But that's the yoga we do.
I've been checking it out.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Good
DDP,
stuff.
Yeah, I gotta-
DDP and Paige. All right, I'm going to send this to you, D. I need you on our podcast. We need you and Paige to come on here
Come on.
and be the power couple. But
It's changed our life.
It's changed our
Yeah,
life.
it looks really
but
cool.
the nautical bowls is amazing. If you're down here in the Galleria,
Yes,
that is
it's
right, the
pretty.
shops Galleria
Yes, it
in
is.
Naples. I'm telling you, go check it out. And while you're there, you get you a bowl, and they also
Yes.
sell clean calls,
Right.
which every can lends a hand. you guys know I swear by this. D Money has now only makes so many cold because she's afraid if I drink 2, she's got to clean up. We got to get Eddie Money, Eduardo in here. He's got to help clean up because we get wild. So with that being said, we're going to get into about this kidney thing, which I think is an amazing story.
Yeah, what the heck?
So you better keep watching.